the recap because
Sure.
everyone else was here last session, I think.
We're good. Go for it. We're recording.
Recap.
Would anyone like to do the recap?
I've
If not,
kind
I
of
will.
got vague. I've got vibes. I don't have a coherent recap, but I've got vibes.
I was
Yeah,
paying more
good.
attention to my
And-
boyfriend than the game, I'll be honest.
And until either the end of this session or the end of next session, it's not my job to remember things yet. So
Point. To be fair,
We had an argument about Dylan's birthday dinner. That is not a birthday celebration. Talia almost rejected the parry after wound closure, and then felt
Fucked
bad and redoubled back on that one.
On the condition that Diona take the money from their share that would cover it.
Yep. Diona was doing some scouting of the docks.
And
Yes.
Lena was being big sus, and then was like, "I'm being told to come back to Vasselheim for something, and I don't want to go, but I think I might have to." And we were all like, "Okay, I guess we're going to Vasselheim." And Lena was like, "What?" And we're like, "We're going to Vasselheim."
It was
Right
Talia's.
part of we love and support our friends did not.
I mean, my favorite bit was the bit where Talia was just like, "Well, I've not liked anywhere else that we've gone, so I might as well go somewhere else that I'm going to hate."
No. Talia deserves nice things.
Talia does deserve nicer things than being dragged to Vasselheim, but hey.
Take what you can get.
Yup. Okie doke. Oh, I need my session notes. This is what I'm missing. There's something missing off my screen. What is it?
Also, Amy, I keep forgetting.
PK
I will
and
end
Fakir
up.
appeared, sharing space.
That did happen.
what were you
I
saying,
did
Kate?
show a boy on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was this?
I was
What were you-
gonna say, Amy. I'll get you the stuff that I have a little bit of stuff on Vias's grandfather. I'll get you that. I promise. Like probably
no
after
worries.
session, because it's not that important. It's just something that can be brought up, but it's fine.
I mean, I'm mostly hoping to at least point y'all in the direction of a boat by the end of this session.
Yeah.
I do also have a note of elf ear hats, which is like those little baby Yoda hats,
Oh jeez.
except there's space in the ears for the elves, just there is into the little pockets.
The elf ear hat, yes.
Okie doke. It is whatever time it is. I think it was the next morning.
what time
but
is
Dina
it?
was
The
being sus-
Because we needed Vias to go get.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because he had the promise that he made before.
It is past breakfast. Lena is headed to the temple to kind of decide whether this is a whole do I have to go home or is this something that could be dealt with via email conversation.
This could have been an email.
I literally have a note that sums up Lena's attitude towards this whole thing, which is basically this could have been an email.
Could have been a fucking email, you assholes.
So, Vias, you have shopping to collect.
Yes, I have forgotten what these were. 1 second. It was like it was the
It's
crossbow
apparently-
thing, the light crossbow, right?
It was a +1 crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
You already grabbed the Ring of Illusion.
Yep.
You didn't grab the 12,000 gold necklace.
Yeah. 'cause we
Talia
didn't have-
might want to go with him to do some possibly magic item shopping of their own.
Yep.
Yeah, he'd take Talia with him as well.
I'd
If they
say
express interest in that.
anyone else that wants to do any shopping, do shout up and let me know. Otherwise, Vias and Talia are headed in the direction of the promenade to see what they can see with shopping and to collect, excuse me, I've got hiccups, Vias's items that have already been purchased.
Wait, can I do shopping?
You can do shopping.
Oh, okay. Because I don't want to spoil her voice and introduction, I'll probably message you. We can probably stick around a little after, or I can ask you in DMs about stuff.
probably going to be DMs unless we finish super early because my alarm's going to be set for 6:30 in the morning. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll message you about it.
Disgusting. I am so sorry for you.
I know because you're up at a similar time.
6:30 in the morning is when my alarm for this game goes off, but not after Sunday.
No, I know. Does it turn to 7:30 for you from Sunday, or is it the same?
That's 7. Which, still not amazing, but better.
Yep. So Vias and Talia plus anyone else are heading in the direction of the promenade. It's a bright and sunny, if slightly cool morning. It is, I believe, according to the calendar, heading kind of through to mid-spring, heading through mid-spring towards kind of late spring. The weather's fine and sunny. There's minimal rain. There's a faint aroma arising from some of the canals, but the way that everybody else is responding suggests this is a fairly common thing with the canals at this time of year. Are you heading straight for Jada's market stall, or are you just browsing first?
That depends. How is one of them closer? Because if the magic shop is closer, he would maybe
You
take
go
Talia there.
past the magic store to get to the magic the stall to get to the magic shops.
Okay, then
There's kind of, as the road kind of, there's the main road that kind of curves through the promenade that has the main kind of shopping street on it, which has kind of the prime real estate, and then there's kind of roads coming off it that are a little bit cheaper because they get a little less foot traffic unless somebody knows what they're looking for. So you kind of get the big kind of fancy looking shops right on the edge of the road, and then you get kind of the cheaper shops off the road, and then you get the market stalls, which are kind of moved into whatever space is available. It's busy. And what day of the week are we on?
I have no clue.
It's not the 17th. It's busy. Most people at this time of day would be kind of shopping rather than on the way to or from work or something.
Okay. Well, maybe we should go stop at the stall first to get what I need, and then we can go do some magic shopping for items and stuff, Dahlia.
Fine. Whatever works.
Okay, let's go. And we should go do that. Vice is gonna, like, just make sure that people are, like, keeping a little bit of distance from them, because he does remember that places like this people pickpocket, so he's gonna at least try and be a little aware of that.
Okie doke. What is Vias and Talia's passive perception?
Oh, actually, his...
Talia's passive has got to be pretty good.
How is his
17.
passive perception so good?
What was that for Talia, sorry?
17.
17, okie doke.
Vias's is also 17? Let me check his stuff, hold on. I think he has... Yeah! Holy shit! Okay. Yeah, his is also 17 for passive
Okay.
perception.
I mean, it makes sense. You did have his wisdom up kind of high.
True. I just forget about that.
You are also both very clearly capable adventuring types, so you're not necessarily the easiest targets for most pickpockets. It's kind of that risk-reward type scenario. You probably have something worth pickpocketing, but chances are that they will be caught and you will kick their asses. So you are...
They're caught, and they probably will be. It's gonna suck.
You are unbothered as
Hell
you
yeah.
make your way through the markets.
Oh, I see.
Jada's stall is set up. You can't see anyone at it, but it is there with a few wares on as you kind of head in that general direction.
Okay. He'll kind of maybe take a couple of looks around the stall, maybe the surrounding area, see if he can find the person who's manning it before.
As you approach the stall, stepping over some sort of invisible marker, there's a faint tinkling sound, and you see a bell swaying on the top of the cart, and this little head appears from above it. Elven ears, messy brown hair, wide eyes. You recognize Jada from the day before. She kind of stands up. Oh, Hi, sorry, didn't see you there. Welcome back. And then she squints at you, tilts her head. Yes, you did come the other day, didn't you? I recognize you.
Mm-hmm. Came here
Um,
for the
Crossbow.
crossbow. Yes.
Did you already pay for the crossbow? I believe you did.
Yes, you paid for the crossbow, and yeah, because he didn't get anything else. I don't think.
She produces the crossbow. Picks it up from kind of the stock for people that has people have pre-purchased and things like that is kept somewhere else. Picks it up, gives it, reached out as if to hand it to you, frowns, pulls it back, gives it a wipe over with a cloth, and then hands it over to you. Notice that there is kind of on the handle of it, there's kind of very small kind of inlaid woodwork in a slightly paler color of like vines.
Ooh.
It's a nice piece of weaponry for the price you paid.
This is quite lovely.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it. It was ip about the whole situation, but that was fine. You know, it is what it is. We work around the challenges that life places in our way.
Of course, of course. I mean, is there anything you can see here that you might need, Dahlia? Or actually, sorry, he would have said on Ansel, sorry.
Yeah,
The different name. God, it's been a while since I played.
you're good.
Of the stuff that's on the top of the cart, most of it is small weaponry. I need to pull up my shop thing. There are kind of various daggers and bolts and sorry, bear with me, I'm trying to find my shop sheet because I forgot to open it before we started. I've moved everything to a new folder on OneDrive and now I can't find anything.
Oh god, that's a mood.
Okay, I know I possess this somewhere, but I will move on anyway and blag it until I can find it. Most of it seems to be kind of small weapons. So there's kind of throwing darts, throwing knives, there's regular daggers, there's kind of what looks to be a selection of bolts and arrows, which are laid out in such a way that suggests that these are speciality bolts and arrows and things like that. So there's some that have kind of little pouches next to the tip of the bolt or the arrow, which you would have more than enough experience to recognize as fire arrows and fire bolts.
Genuinely, I am still okay with that one little poison dagger you gave me all the way back in the temple. I've just been rolling with that for years.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, Talia's good on weaponry.
I figured I could just see if you found anything of interest. So,
Appreciate it.
you can always use weapons on the road.
Nods.
Alright, well, it's been very nice to do business with you. He'll hold out his hand to shake with the person, the elf woman, I think, right?
Yep. She reaches out, steps back, wipes her hand on the cloth, and then shakes your hand. It's still slightly kind of grease smeared from having been working.
Oh, that's fair. He's used to that. I'll just give it a nice shake. And a polite smile.
You know, always a pleasure doing business with somebody who settles their bills up front. That's greatly appreciated. I hope your friend found everything they needed at Finnan's as well. Finnan's a good start. So again, if you need anything, don't forget Finnan's. It's past Gilmore's. It's a lot less showy, but it's a lot more. Well, Finnan's a nice individual, and Gilmore's, well, Gilmore.
Right.
But you enjoy the rest of your shopping experience.
Of course, of course.
Hey.
We'll both take a look. And he'll kind of wander off with Talia. And like,
She kind of waves to you as you disappear, and as you walk away and glance back, she's disappeared behind the car again.
alright. He'll kind of like lean down to Talia a little bit, just like the like somewhat secretive thing, and be like, I don't think we stopped at that Finnan's place. We should probably do it just out of courtesy. Last time we talked about going and did not go, so at least I think that's what I remember.
You
Iona
did
went.
not. You went to Gilmore's instead. Diona went to Finnan's
Okay.
because
Talia just
Bias
kinda
was distracted
shrugs.
by the shiny.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Diona went, but I haven't gone in there. Maybe we should start Finn's first?
Talia shrugs, genuinely has no idea how any of this works.
And-
They are just 100% after, like, a cloak of protection, and they would, like,
Yeah.
articulate that to you.
At
I don't
this
know how they specifically do it, but they would.
Mm-hmm. At this point, Vice is like, he's talking to Talia for sure, but also he's like talking to himself, trying to sort it out. He's like, surely we can do both places if need be. So, probably start with Finnan's and then work our way to Gilmore's if there's anything that hasn't caught their eye. At
Okay.
Finnan's.
As you're walking in that direction,
So hello,
Talia.
Sarah.
Oh, hey, Sarah.
Sarah.
As you're walking in that direction, Talia, you see this building, which is the gaudiest, most ostentatious thing that you have ever seen. There are kind of shimmering, flickering signs, magically kind of arcing across over the front door. There are kind of massive swags of what look like silk or satin or some sort of similar fabric in the windows, highlighting displays of these kind of shiny trinkets and things. It is the brightest, most over-the-top thing that you have seen in a while, at the very least. I would say to your eye and for your what you're kind of used to seeing in terms of color palettes of what people might wear, you're like, this looks like some sort of flower display.
No can trust that. He's just gonna keep, just like, I don't know what that shit is, but I don't like it.
Oh no.
You bypass that, however, and head down a little side street. The shops here are much less garish. They are kind of smaller windows with detailed displays. Some selling books, some selling clothes, some selling, as the one you end up going to, it just says Finnan's, in scroll work on a little sign above the door. And this has various pieces of jewellery in the window. There's a little open sign on the glass. It's a lot less ostentatious and to the point. And this is where Diona ended up the other day.
I think this is where Diona went before, so this must be Finn's. Alright, let's go see. And he'll open the door.
Heading inside, the shop smells heavily of sandalwood and burnt metal. It's not unpleasant, but it's quite strong to the extent that it kind of tickles your nose. The inside of the shop is warm. There's a small kind of entrance space and then a desk that kind of blocks you off from the rest of the shop. Some of this desk has kind of glass in it that lets you see kind of various pendants. And a figure appears a few moments later, walking up a set of stairs behind the counter. A gnome, who I believe I said Finnan was a gnome. I did. Hi, good morning. Can I help you?
Was it this place that had the cloak of protection, or I can't remember?
This is where Diona bought the periaptive wound closure. I think the cloak of protection you were looking at was possibly Gilmore's.
Yeah, you haven't said anything where they are.
Yeah, I didn't know which place was what, so...
Sorry.
It's
No,
okay.
this is the majority of stuff here is jewelry or small pieces, enchanted or just straight up jewelry.
Okay.
And there is a ring of protection, but it's a little bit higher rarity.
Yeah.
I just want a good AC boost. That's all I want.
Yeah, you deserve
One.
it.
Do you have the bracers yet?
Nope.
One day you'll be
And we're-
hella AC.
Yeah, and the braces of defense I think are very expensive. To buy, anyways. Be
I mean,
having
I
no luck
would-
to find them.
Be happy to kind of. So, Ring of Protection is a rare item. +1 to AC, +1 to saving throws. I would be happy to do something that did a bonus to AC only, or to kind of move it down to an uncommon,
I just want an AC boost. That is all I want.
or even
Their
a common.
Would
Their
it-
AC is
yeah.
sad for
So would it-
what I want to do.
Would it still be attunement? Because the cloak is attunement and has +1 to a lot of stuff.
I'd say it possibly doesn't require attunement if it's literally a +1 bonus to AC.
That
That's
would be
spicy.
honest. That would
That's
be
really
100%
spicy.
the best. What I, yeah, yes, please.
Like an ear cuff of protection or something.
Yeah,
Ooh. No, but one of those little kind of with like the little clip-ons and the little kind of dangly bit of chain and the beads and things. I would say if you're kind of explaining what you're after to Finnan,
yeah. I'm
there
not as worried about saving throws eventually because Monk. That will be
Yeah.
taken care of.
also if they're within 10 feet of Lena, they also get a bonus from saving throws as well.
Yeah, I literally just want a +1 AC. That's all I want.
I would say if you're explaining all this to Finnan, kind of this is what I'm after, this is all I need it to do. Their response would be to kind of initially there's a frown and you kind of get the impression they're about to say that's not what we do before there's kind of a head tilt. And the expression shifts from we can't do this to ooh, a challenge. And they're like, you know, it's not really the kind of thing I keep in. But I've also not asked anyone to do me a commission for a while. How long are you in town for? You would know the answer to that in a couple more days.
Yeah,
Okay.
a couple more days.
Well, give me 24 hours. I'm pretty sure that I could come up with something. A ring or a bracelet or an earring. Ring might be easier to enchant, a bit more surface area for not being too bulky.
I do punch a lot of things though.
Oh. Tell me, my dear, do you know what a knuckle duster is?
Their head tilt.
Oh, speaking of knuckle dusters, there's this thing called Insignia of Claws. It gives a +1 to unarmed strikes and stuff. Well, you already have a magic, and it stacks on top of your Eldritch Claw tattoo. So you could have a +2 to attack, and it's uncommon.
I am maybe some other time I want an AC boost considering Talia almost just died.
Yeah.
He's like, well, it's kind of
Almost.
rings.
Almost.
Almost. Hold on. Was no one else gonna call that out?
Fully died.
Almost.
No,
You get better.
we're moving past the trauma.
They got better! They died! And we brought him back!
They died.
I want my AC boost.
God.
No, therapy first.
They're like, so a knuckle duster, it's kind of 2 or 3 rings all kind of next to one another with like a piece of metal joining them so it sits across your knuckles, and when you punch things it hurts them more.
That'd be fun.
Hold out your hand for me, let me just take a couple measurements.
They hold out their like both
that
hands
the
just
hand
in
you-
case.
Punch with, or do you punch with both?
Both.
Nice, I like you. And they take a tape and kind of take a few measurements of kind of around your fingers and across the top of your hand and around the side of your hand and things like that. And they're scribbling notes on a piece of paper. You'll forgive me for saying you don't look like the type for over-the-top adornments.
They shake their head.
Do you want any decoration whatsoever on it? I mean, I can etch some little patterns into the metal, easy enough.
I'm not fussed.
Silver or gold, for a preference.
Iron?
I can work with iron.
They nod.
They scribble a few more notes. Bear with me a second, I'll just see what I've got in stock. And they disappear into the back as their accent wildly varies between Scottish and Irish because I can't do either comfortably. And you can hear kind of a clattering of things being moved around and quiet cursing as something sounds like it's falling over, and they reappear a moment later. I've got some iron. It's not so fancy to work with, but you give it a good polish and it looks decent enough. Like I said, if you give me 24 hours, and I'd say I'm gonna have to ask you to pay half up front. And we'll say that's... Hang on. Sorry, I've got hiccups again.
Oh.
Also, as a note, Diana probably would have given either Talia or Vias Talia's cut, so that...
If you gave it to Talia, they would immediately have just turned and handed it to Vice.
Yeah. So, if the pouch of it for Talia got pulled out of the bag of holding and given to Vias for the moment, because Diana is again doing ingredients shopping and doing...
Okey-doke. In that case, then, there's kind of a certain amount of scribbling, and they glance up at you and they kind of tilt their head, and you can see kind of little designs being sketched on this notepad of what they want it to look like. +1 to AC, I can definitely enchant. For that price, 450 gold.
They look at the Vice like, I don't know what, like, that's a number.
50 gold for what?
450 gold for
450.
For basically a +1 knuckle duster of iron.
Vias does have Diana. Vias does have Talia's.
Okay, and Talia has plenty of
Money at the
gold for
moment.
that?
Yes, Talia at the moment has...
Vias seems a little...
Talia at the moment has 1,115 gold.
Okay, that's not
Damn,
bad.
I didn't even know that.
Vias kind of like blinks a couple of times, like, holy shit, that's a big deal, like, money-wise, but he's trying not to show that. But he just nods a little bit, and we'll probably start getting out the funds for Talia.
It's like, well, I only need the 200 up front, so you can pay the 250 when you come to collect it tomorrow. Like I say, a +1 to AC, and I suppose it'll be strong against anything what doesn't like iron.
I'd say that's probably a good thing. And he'll glance at Talia again.
They nod.
Probably not so great unless you're heading to the Feywild anytime soon, but hey! The +1 AC is useful. Like I say, I'll take the 200 gold up front for materials and such. And it'll be ready same time tomorrow. Bit before lunch.
Sounds wonderful. He'll give the half of it. That was the 250, right?
Either 200 or 250.
200 or 250? Let's just do 200 for now.
Okey-doke.
115.
Well, thank you very much. Pleasure doing business with you. And
course.
like I say, anytime tomorrow. Well, about this time I don't open early.
Alright, yeah, no, that makes sense. I doubt that we'll be coming rushing here straight away in the morning.
Folks do,
Uh,
but I'd appreciate it if you didn't.
we'll make sure to eat lunch first before we come visiting you.
Grand. I appreciate it.
Alright.
Anything else I can help you with?
You know, I did most of my shopping the other day, so there's not much else I can do. So, I think we
I'm
could...
good.
Well,
Sorry.
in that case, if you don't mind, I have a commission piece for the first time in a while, and I'm quite excited to get on with it, so I'm sure you can see yourselves out while I get
course.
on with my work.
We'll leave you to your business.
He kind of they kind of give you kind of a little salute, a little bow, and then they kind of step down the steps behind the counter and disappear into the back. And you can hear kind of already a scraping of metal as they're moving things around, kind of keen to be getting on with this kind of commission piece.
Well, it seems like you got a pretty good deal. That's not too bad money-wise. At least for an item that'll give you some more protection.
Not. I don't know what money's worth, so I'm gonna take your word on it.
I mean, it's different all across the world, but it seems a little bit easier to do things with less money here, at least from my knowledge, and he'll start leading them out the door.
They're just pieces of metal.
Oh, you'd be surprised at what it means to other people, though.
I can't even eat them.
I mean, there's some people, if you make gold a little bit, like, very, very thin, you can technically eat it. You shouldn't consume lots of quantities of it, but, you can sometimes. It's just not satisfying.
They look a little horrified.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't. So, it's not a substantial meal. No. Wait, don't dragons eat? No, they don't eat gold, do they?
I don't know. If any case, I'm not a fucking dragon.
Oh good, I'm glad you're not a dragon. That would be a little bit scary.
Query. I know that Talia is very much kind of the Fae with the salt against the Fae and everything. Is Talia also the Fae don't like iron in this reality, or?
I was working on that assumption. I think we've established it beforehand. I think somebody gave Talia an iron bracelet at one point.
Cool.
Leona gave Talia an iron bracelet at one point.
I like the
I think
fair.
David has given Talia a lot of gift.
Yeah.
And this is like, hey, just in case.
I mean, I was working on that assumption as soon as Talia asked if it could be made out of iron, so that's cool.
Also, there was.
Yeah, I've just been working on that kind of assumption for at least this version of the Feywild.
In character, so I heard something about a Dylan birthday because I didn't hear about this before. Is it? Do we in canon know that it's Dylan's birthday or something?
Yes.
We do in
Okay.
canon. know
We
that-
in canon know that yesterday was Dylan's birthday,
Oh, Jesus.
and we are having an absolutely not celebration birthday dinner for him today.
I'm trying to think if Vias wants to get him a gift so fucking bad. When is the celebration time? Because he might make
Dinner.
something.
This afternoon,
Okay.
Diona kind
Yeah.
of bartered to have access to the kitchens kind of mid-afternoon when they're going to be less busy between kind of the lunch and evening meal rush.
Okay. Vias might go get some supplies to make, like, he's gonna try and make an actually, like, nice woven bracelet
Okie doke.
in some colors that Dylan might like golds and blacks and stuff.
Yay.
And maybe throw in some teal in there, too, for some of his colors.
Okay. I mean, there's definitely the side roads off kind of the main road of the main thoroughfare of the promenade are probably your best place to look. The main kind of thoroughfare is very much less supplies, more finished items. So, I mean, you could spend a little while kind of searching the side roads.
Yeah, because he wants
trying
to
to
get
find-
some of that and then some shiny stuff, like little charms and things.
I'd say with your passive perception as you're kind of glancing up and down these side roads, you find relatively quickly an option, one of which is more of a kind of haberdashery type place, one of which straight up sells kind of bolts of cloth and things like that. So you have two options to try.
Sure. Vice is gonna kind of like glance at Talia for a moment, just say, "Are you in a hurry to get back to them? Because I might want to go get a couple more things before we go back, if you don't mind."
They shrug.
Okay, between you and me, I don't have anything for Dylan's birthday to give as a gift, so I need to make something. So, I need materials, and he'll lead the way. I don't know exactly what area he would go to, so whichever one is closest.
Closest would probably be the haberdashery.
Okay. Then let's go there.
Okie doke.
Talia is just straight vibing. Talia doesn't know what's going on. Talia's just like, alright, whatever.
I love them.
We keep talking about birthday.
So, what does a haberdashery sell? All I know is that they sell money clips because of John Mulaney.
Men's accessories.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Haberdashery in this country then is something very different to what it is in the UK. Haberdashery is kind of sewing supplies, predominantly some fabric, but not kind of full-on fabric. So
So like
No,
a yarn
in the
store.
US, in the US, it's like men's accessories, men's hats, like that sort of thing.
Hmm.
If you wanted like sewing supplies, you'd have to go to a crafts store, a la Joanne Fabrics or the detested Hobby Lobby.
Oh, no. Here we have a local favorite, Crafts Direct, which is a Minnesota store.
see, I didn't know that.
That's funny. We're learning more things.
Haberdashery.
Haberdashery.
Sorry about that.
I love it. You're
So
back.
yeah, no. Some fabric supplies, but it's basically everything else around sewing. Is what I personally mean by haberdashery.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So you enter the shop, and it is very cheerfully lit. And there are kind of little mage lights kind of hovering up near the ceiling, kind of casting everything in like a pale yellow glow. There are some selections of fabric in here, but there are kind of whole walls kind of filled with various different types of threads. You would easily be able to identify kind of that there are tapestry threads, there are more kind of heavier threads for making carpets and rugs and things like that. There are weaving threads. There are kind of whole rows filled with kind of buttons and ribbons and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheerful and busy, and quite full for the small space. The saint of French haberdasheries, of course there is.
Vias will kind of like keep Talia closer to him, just as like a presence of like, no need to get overwhelmed. I'm right here, kind of sense.
As you enter, there's an older woman.
Talia is like sticking by Vias' side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the far side, kind of sat in a chair doing some knitting. Grey white hair kind of pulled back from her face, and she sees you walk in. Oh, well, good afternoon, I think it is, dears. How can I help you?
Hello. I'm looking for, I suppose, something threads to weave. I'm looking to make some sort of bracelets, so maybe some softer, finer, sort of threading. Trying to think, and he'll kind of like list out some of the colors that he wants, like gold, black, the turquoise
Okay.
color, things
Well,
like that.
And she points at this kind of the wall at one side. Everything with the brown background is carpet thread. You don't want those. They're a little too heavy for what you're after, dear. The white background is embroidery threads. Again, possibly not quite what you're after. The green side of things, and you notice as she's saying this, behind the threads, the wall has been painted different colours.
Okay.
The green side of things is kind of the weaving and the more heavy tapestry threads, which is probably what you're after, dear. Prices are marked, but generally speaking, they're anything from a copper up to a silver a hank, depending on the expense of making the thread. So your blacks and your teals will probably be a couple of coppers each, depending on how much you need. It's the gold that's going to be a bit more expensive, dear.
That's fair. Would they by chance be anything of like a metallic variety, or just the basics of yellowish gold?
Everything that's up there is yellowish gold. We do have some more expensive. She tilts her head. Have you worked with the actual metallic threads before, dear? You sound like you know what you're talking about.
He'll just nod. And he kind of like adjusts his cloak a little bit, and you will see that it is woven in with that like the gold patterning of the filigree on his cloak. Definitely has that sort of touch to it.
She smiles and nods. We do have some actual thread with the very fine gold metallic warmth woven through it. Tricky to work with, but if you've worked with it before, we do have some of that in stock, dear. I have the gold, I have a copper, I don't have any silver at this point in time.
Alright, I think that the gold would be quite of an interest to me. And I'll probably take some of that as well. He's just kind of like muttering to himself a little bit. Yes, I think I can, and he'll kind of go back and go grab like the black and the teal from the what do we call it? The one that she had pointed out before. That would probably be what he was looking for. Just kind of find like one that somewhat is around like the kind of coloring of the back of his cloak. Just something that matches it a little bit.
Okey-doke. She comes back at this point and she's got a couple of lengths of this gold thread kind of woven, wrapped around a card.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Hang on, sorry, microphone's falling over.
Oh no.
Well, dear, the amount of black and teal you've got there, I'd say that's going to set you back. And she kind of tilts her head, wobbles it backwards and forth slightly. I'll say 3 coppers for that. The metallic threads might more pricey, I'm afraid. If I match the lengths you've got there, it's going to set you back a full gold.
Alright, that seems quite fine. I'd be willing to spend that. Do you happen to have more than just that one?
I do.
I will
How much do you need? And she kind of, you see the look on her face kind of shifts to, a kind of a fellow enthusiast kind of thing.
I would take 2.
How much do you need? Yeah.
Take 2 at the same length you're holding.
Be right back. And
Thank
she
you.
disappears into the back and comes back with another kind of same amount sort of thing. She's like, that'll be another gold, unfortunately.
He will place the 2 gold and the 3 copper onto the desk.
Okie doke.
Come on, let me click
She
it.
slides it off and wraps everything up in kind of a small piece of fabric and ties it with a bow. Before she does, she kind of looks at you and winks slightly and slips another little kind of smaller amount of the same gold inside as well.
Oh, he gives her the biggest smile. Yes, 3 gold thread. Yeah, let's go.
So you've maybe got, I would say, the lengths that the lengths that you picked out of the other threads are probably kind of 2-yard lengths. So you've got 2 yards of black, 2 yards of the teal, and probably 5 yards of gold.
Sweet. Let's see.
I also really need to close Discord if you're going to do these conversations well.
Yeah, like
Alright.
lots of Catholic saints have anime drills, right?
Editing an image that is going to destroy you in 2 minutes. Hold on.
God, oh no.
Damn it.
I'm really excited for this image.
As she passes you the little wrapped package, via, she's like, well, you know, dear, if you need anything else while you're in town, you do let me know, won't you? Always happy to help a fellow enthusiast, and
Oh, I didn't
don't-
get your
I don't-
name.
oh, my name's Agatha, dear.
Agatha. It's a pleasure to meet you, Agatha. I'm via Tal'dorei. It's very nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, dear. You're new in town, or at least you're new into my shop. I don't suppose you're moving to town?
Unfortunately, no. My residence is much further than here.
Alas. We're
About the-
always, I mean, we have a little sewing group that meets twice a month. unfortunately, it's not going to be for another week or so now. You just missed one. Otherwise, anytime you're in town and you want to come along, just do drop in. You're always welcome. We always take new members. Honestly, we're after a bit of younger blood. I'm one of the younger members myself, and she kind of pats her grey hair.
Oh.
For a second, I thought.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, for a second, I thought she was gonna hand Vias a punch card for free good business.
Yes.
Like 6 stamps.
Well, you're looking quite lovely for your age, for being a young woman yourself.
Kind of does that whole psh, kind of and waves. Flattery will get you absolutely nowhere, young sir. Get on with you. Go on. And you can
Alright.
see ever so slightly she waves you out the shop.
I like her. I'm putting her in my notes. I don't have any, but she's in my notes. God bless Agatha. She was nice to me and gave me more gold thread. He pauses for a second. He's like, "Oh, wait. Do you know any shop that would have like nice little like jewelry charms or something? A couple of varieties would be nice."
I suppose it depends what you're after. We have some little metal charms ourselves. They're not jewelry per se. They're not made of fancy metal or anything. If you want something fancy metal, you're probably better off finding an actual jewelry shop, dear.
Alright. Appreciate that. Is there anyone you would recommend?
Well, Finnan down the way is a lovely young chap. I say chap, that's not quite the word, but I don't quite know what else to call them. A lovely young individual, fine upstanding citizen, ever so adorable. Otherwise there's I'm closing the Discord window. I'm minimizing it.
God, what have you done?
Oh my god.
So when St. Catherine was beheaded, according to legend, instead of blood, she bled milk.
I hate
Right,
this.
give me a second.
Yes,
No, bring it back. Bring it back.
I am shifting the recording window to the Discord. Oh, you've deleted it. That's fine.
Parker, put it back.
Yours now
I
with
deleted
the recording.
that.
Put it back.
Put it back. Put it back.
You're recording this.
Yes.
There we go.
I hate this life that we live right now.
Oh, this is on the video this time. I missed the get together last session. This is on the video for posterity now.
This bitch bleeds milk. Good to know. I didn't want to know. I did not ask, and yet it's there.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you got the big mommy milkers.
Babe, I don't want to look at her mommy milkers.
Anyway.
I hate that phrase. I hate this so
Sentences
much.
just keep on happening to me. I have to hear them.
You
I
must.
know no
It is
peace.
your burden.
It's my
Good
burden.
lord.
My love,
crying.
I just took you out of jail last night.
Yeah, you should know. We always go back in. It never lasts.
Yeah, hold on. I'm still in jail.
How are you still
What?
in jail, Sarah?
I apologize in
yet-
advance to everybody watching this on if I upload my recorded video. I apologize for the way it's bouncing around, but that really needed recording just for how horrifically scarring it is.
Also, you're still in jail because Bean Furby is evil.
Jesus.
I didn't do Bean Furby. That
I
was
did
More than
use
24
it.
hours. I think
Oh,
it's
wait.
been more than 24 hours, so I have...
Oh, okay, what was Sarah in jail for?
What wasn't
know.
Sarah in jail
That's
for?
true. It doesn't
I
matter.
don't know
guess.
what it was. I'm sure I deserved it. I'll just check cursed because I guarantee that.
Oh,
will be
it was
an
the Kirk's.
explanation.
It was the Captain Kirk thing.
Oh.
I know
What?
that I've reminded everybody about
His
that.
tits?
His
Oh, his fatty milkers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Why is that phrase? It's so terribly misogynistic, but it's so fucking funny.
It's
No,
funny when you say it
Anyway.
about men.
It's funny when you say it about Captain Kirk specifically.
Good
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons.
Moving swiftly on.
Okay.
Your best bet, Vias, if you're wanting kind of charms and things, is to probably find a straight up jeweler's.
Okay. We don't have to roleplay this anymore because I feel like
No,
we're
no,
eating up
it's fine.
time.
It's fine.
He,
I was just about to say, while Vias and Talia are shopping, what is everyone else up to?
Again, Dona's doing ingredients for.
I mean, you're familiar enough with Imon that you can kind of find all the food shops and, you know, what fair prices would be in the city at this
Food
time.
shops, what fair prices would be? It would be. Make sure to get good ingredients.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what Dylan agreed on for birthday meal, but she does. So
I think it was kind of comfort food and finger foods and things like that. Comfort foods rings a bell.
yeah, I think so.
Okie doke. I would say. Sorry, go on.
Particularly because Diana reached the point of just offering Dylan the recipe book from Lena and going, hey, okay, pick something from here to reduce your decision paralysis. Pick something that sounds good from here. So it would have been comfort food because you said that that's a lot of what's in there.
Yep. It's kind of yeah, quite hearty foods. It's a lot of soups and stews and kind of mashed potatoes and things that need slow cooking over a low heat for a long time because that's what Lena grew up with. Okay, I'd say Lena appears back at the tavern probably a little after lunch, probably a half hour, an hour or so before the time that everyone was told to be back for the meal. And she's immediately very much tell me if there's anything you need me to do, Diona.
And honestly, if you want to be a spare pair of hands. Actually, she's gonna grab a clean spoon and just taste test. You know what this should taste like.
Oh, okay.
I tweaked it a little bit, but it should still.
Okay. Lena will cheerfully eat anything you kind of hand to her. No, that tastes good. It tastes really good, actually. We are probably gonna have to, head to Vasselheim, by the way. Or like I said yesterday, none of you have to come if you don't want to. Which
Diana kind of looks over her shoulder at Lena, just with a long, flat.
I know. You
We
said
didn't leave Susanna alone. We're not gonna leave you alone.
well, I do appreciate it. Even if it makes me feel really super uncomfortable, I do appreciate it. Oh, we ought to shop.
Establish the boundary.
But we can do that later, it's fine. Food for Dylan first. More important. Everything tastes good. I would say as well, Vias and Talia, you have also been given a time to reappear back at the tavern.
he would have
For
probably
food?
wanted to do his stuff very quickly because he's got a fucking bracelet to make.
Yeah. I'd say you probably do just have time. You don't have time necessarily for anything complicated.
That's alright. I think, could he have also gotten some charms from the...
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say finding a straight-up jeweler is fairly simple. If you're just after simple little charms, the size that would fit on a bracelet,
Just
you're
like...
probably talking...
Yeah.
If you want them in gold, it's probably a couple of gold each.
I think he'd go... He'd probably go for silver, I think. So, like, the gold thread, the silver charms, and then the... yeah.
Like, look, in that case, it'd be, you know, a couple of silver each. It's
Okay.
kind of... materials is probably is probably, you know, a silver's worth, and then you kind of get the impression these sorts of things are mass-produced rather than individually made, which is why they're reasonably cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the individually made stuff, but that will kind of triple the price.
Okay. He'd probably
And
go.
also with the time limit.
Yeah, he'd probably get something like maybe like a little silver bird and like probably what else would he get? Like maybe a little star or something like that, and then like what else would he get?
I mean, they're very generic shapes, but you could get them pre-made. If you wanted anything a little more specific, it's the kind of thing where you'd have to either shop around or just buy what is there.
Yeah, he'd probably kind of just get what's readily available for now. He'll make something fancier for the next birthday because this is a little on
short note.
Yeah.
In which case, yeah, they'd be a couple of silvers each.
Okay, you can get like 3 charms. So 6 silver, I think then.
Okie doke. As everyone kind of makes it back, I'd say. Hang on, just let me have a. Yeah, I'd say with your experience and with your dex modifier, you're more than capable of kind of braiding together a bracelet. It's not going to be the most complicated thing that you could ever make, but it's not that simple and straightforward, and it has kind of the charms kind of fairly kind of solidly woven into it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be knocked off as soon as somebody looks at it weird.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I'd say you could make that definitely in the amount of time you have available.
Yes. And he'll kind of like reuse the parchment that he had gotten the other stuff in, or that little bag. Just make it a little bit nicer looking.
So, as everybody kind of makes their way back to the tavern, I'd say as well that there's kind of little side dining rooms, which I'd say with you persuading them to let you use the kitchen diner, they probably would have let you kind of use one of these private dining rooms as well. It's small, it's crowded, it's big enough to fit everyone in the group.
Dana is very appreciative.
As you all settle in for Dylan's not a birthday dinner.
Yeah.
No, it's a birthday dinner, it's not a celebration.
Not a celebration lunch. I'm not going to make Diona roll for food making because Diona knows what she's doing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
The food
Did PK have to fully dip?
I don't know.
I think so.
They recently posted something on Tumblr about soup, so I don't think we're gonna get PK back.
Oh, poor soup. Love
Ooh.
PK though.
Oh.
I mean, they'd be heading off to rehearsal in kind of 20 minutes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okey-doke. Anywho, not a celebration lunch.
Mm-hmm.
The food is good. The food is kind of, yeah, comforting. Like I said, I'm not going to make you roll a cooking check with Diana, because Diana very much knows exactly what she's doing in a kitchen. Even with new recipes, it's nothing excessively complicated.
And comfort food is comfort food.
Yeah.
The vibes of...
Sorry, go on.
She's trying for the vibes of... This very much gives you the warm fuzzies like a good hug.
Cool. Okie doke. I know that Lena has a gift for Dylan. And obviously I know that various other people do. Lena is, however, going to wait until food is at the least done with before she hands over gifts. So, as dinner is progressing, who is doing what?
Talia is fucking eating.
Talia
They
is
have no
valid.
conceptualization of gift of anything else. Just
They're like,
just munch.
they're like, this isn't Hagney, but it'll do.
Talia is incredibly valid.
I mean, Vias would probably just like chat a little bit about the old lady he met.
Vias's new best friend, Agatha.
Agatha, we're besties. She invited me to be in her sewing club. I've never been in the club before, not really.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I mean, we probably won't be here for it. You said something about leaving?
Yeah, I'll talk about it later. It doesn't feel right to talk about it now while we're eating and everything.
Okay.
But I mean, it would be nice if we're back in town. Maybe you can kind of check next time we're around.
He does.
But I did get you something, Dylan. I mean, I didn't know until too late, so I couldn't make you anything. But I know that please tell me that I didn't imagine the bit where I asked you if Dylan knits.
He
Dylan
does.
definitely knits.
That's okay then. I did get you this, and Lena hands you kind of a squishy little bundle wrapped in some kind of bluish green fabric. The fabric, as you open it, is long enough to form a scarf, and it looks like it's been tie-dyed at some point with these kind of sea foam colours. And inside it is a hank of wool, which is black with little kind of sparkly threads running through it. I mean, I know you knit, so I figured it might be useful.
Yes.
And it's pretty.
It is pretty. Thank you.
Hang on, I need to turn your volume up.
Sorry.
I mean, I know it's not a lot, but
I mean, I wasn't expecting anything, so like it's fine.
oh, I know, but it doesn't seem fair to have somebody's birthday and not give them something.
Does it?
It's just next time I have war warning, so next year I can get you something a bit more personalized.
Okay. Dylan looks a little confused. But he is accepting.
I mean, a lot of us like to give gifts. I mean, it's a little like Lena said before, little last minute, but I did make you something too.
Yeah.
He'll pull the package of the wrapped bracelet and hand it over to Dylan.
Yes. Dylan will open it.
It's just kind of you know those kind of like thicker I suppose they'd be like the not the floss. Is it floss? The embroidery threads sort of situation where it's like the braided sort of thicker bracelets. It's kind of like that in pattern, except that there's like gold running through it in that sort of black and teal pattern with the gold thread. He's done it almost like on the outside of it, so it's made almost a border, with a little bit of it sneaking into the actual bracelet itself. And then there's 3 different charms on the bracelet, one of which is like a little bird. There was a little star on there too, and I think maybe like a little flower of some sort. Just a generic flower. I'd be gay. I would have gotten better charms for it, but I mean,
that's fine.
I can make you something better another time.
No, what do you mean better? The fact you made this, that's cool. You don't have to like make a new one. Just, you know, if you find a cool charm you like, you can just put it on there.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't handle gifts very well. So
You're doing fine, don't worry. I like to give gifts to people I like.
yeah.
He just kind of like looks at his. He like steeples his fingers a little bit. Hand
I've got
pointing right,
those-
hand pointing left. Ooh woo.
Yeah, sorry, if things get squeaky or unintelligible, we are losing our voice, so
Oh,
No,
sorry, buddy.
I'm sorry.
it's fine. Just if the voice stops midway through talking, that's why.
If you know, you know.
If you're gay, you're gay.
Yep.
Incredible.
I don't really have anything for you. All I really have is the food.
Still don't understand
Yeah.
birthdays. Did not know gifts are still a thing. They give Dylan a hug.
Oh.
Dylan hugs back.
Susanna also has a thing. But I am extremely stooped, and Susanna's not in here. So imagine her, because you all know her.
I love her.
And she is amazing. She presents in a Susanna-ish fashion, which is just not in my brain. A very yellow gold pocket watch, the face of which has really very large numbers in comparison to her other watches, and the outside.
Dylan's gonna die. Dylan's gonna die. You realize this? You're gonna kill him.
The outside of which is engraved with sort of a meandering pattern of books and pages and feathers.
You've killed him. You've killed my boy.
You're welcome.
I feel like this might be revenge, but for the times he terrified her about the. Did you know your other watch your daddy gave you is magic?
Oh God, do you remember that was session 1? God, or session 2 maybe.
It was early.
But yeah, that was Susanna. Susanna presents this in a Susanna fashion, insisting, of course, that it is not for any kind of celebration. Really, don't even think of it as a birthday gift. It's just something she had lying around, maybe.
Dylan is like kind of speechless throughout the whole thing. Just kind of holding the watch, staring at it like, what the fuck? For me? But he doesn't say that. He's just like blushing too, probably.
God bless. Alright, that's all my words.
Yay, words. Dylan has a watch now.
Yay!
Now Susanna can bug him about the time.
Yes. That's my secret agenda, is to make sure every party member has a watch and can be harassed for it.
Oh,
Except
yeah.
for Talia, because Talia's sense of time is not.
Talia's watch is not a real watch, it's just the sun and moon position.
Talia knows that time is a social construct.
Oh, is that true? Hold on. Sorry. Not to get philosophical, is that true?
Yeah.
Time as we measure it is a social construct.
But
So,
like,
the actual turning of the Earth is a real phenomenon.
Yeah.
The way in which we choose to measure its passage is a social construct.
Yes.
Yep.
Time
okay,
is
because I thought you were meaning like the fact that we move forward.
No. The sun,
No.
the Earth turning and its kind of orbit around the sun is a scientific fact.
That's very real.
We
The
know.
way that we measure it and the numbers that we assign to it is a social
there's,
construct.
There's
Yep.
no reason that there's no reason there's 24 hours in a day. There's no reason that 60 seconds equals a minute. That's all fucking made up bullshit.
Mhm.
Okay, but the days are based on Earth go turny, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but the actual
Okay.
the amount of the Earth turn that we have decided is what we call an hour is arbitrary.
Fake.
It's an
Okay.
arbitrary number that somebody decided fit.
Yeah, well, see, I don't get it. Like, the fact that we have to do leap years, why can't you just make it longer?
Yeah. Mhm.
Because
We
You
need
can-
better
because you have
years.
to change all the numbers and none of them would match, and we'd be right back to the metric measurement.
What? So
Yeah,
why
and-
didn't you do that in the first place?
Well, the thing is,
Um,
they
I
tried
feel like
that
it's
at
Julius
first.
Caesar's fault.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
tried that at
Mhm.
first, but then there's this thing called the Great Confusion, where the numbers just stopped adding up, so they had to add leap year.
If you wish to break
Just-
your brain, Google how they've recently redefined the kilogram, because that broke my mum.
Oh no. I just want there not to be numbers so they can be like, hey, you gotta work in the morning, and then I can just be like, cool. And then it's just morning, but I don't
Wait,
want
why
numbers.
Passage of time.
Why'd they redefine the kilogram? I'm going to Google.
Okay. Long story very short, the kilogram has been measured against a standard which was a lump of palladium, I believe, that was held in a museum in Paris, from which all other kind of standards were defined. Only they remeasured it a couple of times with increasingly more accurate measurements and scales and things, only to find that it kind of maybe wasn't entirely completely a kilogram how we would now define it. So they wanted a mathematical way to define the kilogram.
Did they break the numbers?
No, a kilogram is still a kilogram. It's just now the standard for setting up kind of scales and things comes from maths
the
instead
amount
of
of stuff
anything.
that is the amount of stuff that is a kilogram is a little different.
I'm going to scream. 1 minute.
So
I
wait,
hate it.
is a
It's fine.
kilogram of iron still more than a kilogram of feathers?
Yes.
No, a kilogram of feathers weighs exactly the same as a kilogram of iron. It just takes up more space.
But
But
steel
iron
is
is
heavier than
heavier-
feathers.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's still a kilogram.
Kilogram of steel is an iron. It's the same as a kilogram of feathers.
We're not having this
Back to
conversation.
D&D. Okay, this is too much maths for this time on a Friday night.
No. It's too late. Please.
As dinner winds down, lunch even winds down, Lena is very much I spoke to the temple, and yeah, I do need to go back to Vasselheim, and I've already said that I can go alone, and Diana told me not to be so silly and words to that effect, so I kind of need to head back to Vasselheim, and I kind of need to go soon.
Okay.
If you don't want to go with me, I know what you said, Diana. But if you don't want to go, you don't have to.
Why wouldn't I want to go with you?
Because
We're your friends.
cold and miserable and not very nice.
I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
it's kind of cold here sometimes too.
Oh, it's not that cold here.
I mean, it was
No,
like
he's
a couple
desert
of
boy,
months ago.
remember?
Oh, Vice, it's really very cold in Vasselheim in the winter. I mean, to be fair, we're heading through spring now, so it's not going to be super cold. But you're going to need lots of layers.
Then why would you live there?
I don't live there anymore. There's a reason I left.
Okay, you are one of the smart ones.
You left because it was cold?
I mean, I left because... Let's just say that was one of the reasons. It's not all the reasons.
How many reasons? You don't have to tell me any of the others, but how many were there?
And she holds up and starts counting on her fingers. How many reasons were there? There's maybe like 5 or 6, depending on
Mm.
things.
Let's go with 6, just to be on the safe side.
But then
We
more
can
than
go-
not enough.
Well, I mean, if you want to go, there's a whole thing. I got an official recall letter. And the priests at the temple here are pretty sure that's just kind of a standard form, but it's kind of official, and I probably can't ignore it.
Okay.
So if they're recalling you, does that mean they're going to pay for your fare there?
No.
Well, that's just shit business. What the people were you working for?
I don't think it's a business. Aren't religious organizations technically exempt from like taxation and things like that?
Why?
Not a
You
business.
phrase that Vice
Oh.
like I get paid. I don't get paid.
Vias looks horrified. They don't
Wait,
pay
what?
you?
Why are they
Vice, do
tax
you get
exempt?
paid? Are you getting paid?
We give our priests plenty of compensation. They do jobs.
Your priests are paid?
Well, yes, they have to have a wage to live. They don't just.
I mean, if I lived in Vasselheim, I wouldn't need to get paid because I'd get all my food and my board and everything paid for. But while I'm out and about, no, I'm supposed to do good deeds and get paid for them.
And they just accept that that's going to happen for you without checking in for you, hey?
Yeah.
Vias just like puts his hands on his hands on the sides of his head and he goes, "Oh my god, they need a union."
Well, this went in a whole way that I didn't expect, and I love it. Hang on, I'm making a note. We are unionizing the paladins.
That's
Good!
just terrible. Well, now I understand why my freaking temples don't end up messing with fucking Versalheim that often. Good lord.
I mean, there's other reasons as well, but yeah, no, it's supposed to be a religious calling, and we're supposed to do it for the. I don't even know, to be honest.
Yeah, you still need to be able to live while following this calling.
I mean,
You get health insurance.
if I was to move between temples, the temples would look after me. Yes, the whole in Vasselheim is the lack of unionization. That is the whole. Lena just shrugs as if this is perfectly normal from her point of view. I mean, it's the way it works, you know. You head out and you base yourself in a temple, and the temple looks after you while you're there, and then you take up jobs and things to fill the holes in between. Look, I go out and I deal with bad people and I smite the undead, and the Dawnfather gives me the ability to do that. I kind of saw it as a pretty sweet deal, to be honest.
I mean, it can be, yes, that's good, but my goodness. You would think the organization would at least treat you a little bit better. Some sort of, what would you call it? Failsafe? Or, what is the word for that? Support other than, here you go, do the things in the name of your god. That's it.
I get to hit things really hard and smite them while I do so.
And you're actively at risk of getting killed. I feel like you deserve.
I don't feel like that is a, what would you call it? An
Fair
equal,
trade?
yeah, an equal trade-off? There's no good right. Sorry, I'm eating food that Diona has made me. Bran has stuffed a Java cake in my mouth.
I mean, I guess it's just not really. I kind of.
The gang get incensed about Lena's working conditions.
Look, we just care about what you're doing with yourself a little bit, I think. Sorry, I got overheated there.
God forbid that anyone make a typo in the group chat.
Get his ass!
Where's the fucking image?
Pate. Pate. Pate.
Well, there's, it's just the way it is. It's the way I've always understood that it was. You kind of do make a good point, though. I confess that I was just happy to get away from Vasselheim.
Listen, I still say that we can just not do it. If that's what you need, we can just not.
I mean, it's super tempting. There's also, it's not that straightforward and simple. There's a friend that I had who might be missing. I sent them to the temple for help, and it sounds like the temple didn't help, so I kind of want to know what's going on there, and also there's some bullshit about a memorial.
Oh.
Okay, one of those things sounds significantly more valid than the other.
Oh, that's good, because I really don't want to go to the memorial.
Well, we can go for the friend and the issue that wasn't addressed at the very least.
Okay. If you're all sure.
Yes.
I mean, I'm
Well,
not doing
anyone who
much.
wants to can opt out, obviously, but
I'm probably going to ask that several times over the next few days, and I apologize.
I mean, if all these people are leaving, I'm going with also. I don't want to be left behind. And also, I don't have anything else to do here necessarily, so...
Thank you, I think.
You're very welcome.
I'll take your unenthusiastic agreement. We ought to, I don't know, find a boat?
they can work on finding a boat. There's probably some people going through Vasselheim this time of year. Early spring.
I mean, there'll be trade ships and things that we can get passage on, surely. That's how I came over here.
Yeah.
What about airships though?
I really don't think we can afford an airship. I know. I don't want to go on a boat either.
He has the most defeated look on his face.
This was a whole complaint the other day where last session where basically everyone was like, yeah, I don't like boats, and then apologized to Diona. I mean, we could see about the airship, I suppose, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be in the thousands of gold each.
Oh man, the fare there is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot cheaper to go from the not Menagerie Coast. What am I thinking about? Jesus.
Rockets?
Yes, a Marquette. My brain is also soup today. It was a lot cheaper to go from Marquette to Iman, but then again, they have quite large open trade routes. This is so terrible.
I mean, I survived it on the way here, I guess? Okay. I did write down my prices somewhere, now I can't find them.
Isn't that how it goes, though? You know you've written it down somewhere and you just can't find it.
Definitely have it somewhere. It's in one of my notebooks, unfortunately. Oh, nope. No, the notebook it's in, I think, is also downstairs. Bear with.
Mm-hmm.
God.
I'm just sitting here like leg bounce time.
Good. You deserve leg bounce time.
Yeah.
Pate. Pate. Pate.
You're gonna bully me about this.
My notebook is downstairs and I'm upstairs and I
Aw.
can't be asked to go and get it.
That's alright.
So, I seem to think it was to the tune of a vaguely, and I will confirm this before we pay any money for it. I want to say it was somewhere around a couple of 100 gold each for a ship, and somewhere in the order of a couple of 1,000 gold each for an airship.
Oh, yuck.
Ships are very expensive.
It's like when airplanes were first invented. Only the rich could go on them.
And then die.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking about that. I was like, they pay so much just to possibly die.
I mean, I feel like that's still
Yeah.
kind of airplanes now.
Well, to be fair, they're about the same. I found that airplanes are almost cheaper than driving with a car. Just because you spend so
probably.
much money on, like, if you're staying in hotels and shit.
Also, the likelihood of a plane crash nowadays is very, very
It's
small.
incredibly
Yeah.
fucking slim without external factors. Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
It's-
back then, like, when airplanes were made out of, like, plywood and hope, sure,
Yeah.
those things crashed all the fucking
Oh no!
Exactly.
I'm talking about like passenger airlines because they were meant for the rich then.
Yep.
Oh god, what's the... Hang on.
I know, I was being deliberately not very funny.
Mm-hmm.
There.
So, there was a plane, and I'm trying to find the name of it.
The
And I want
Concorde.
to say it was a British one, and it was a brand of plane. Or we had a load flying from this country, and basically there was a bunch of crashes. And it's
Oh.
what led to the modern way that they do airliner windows.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically the change in pressure was causing the outer skin of the aircraft to flex so much, especially around these windows, that they were suffering violent decompression because the window would just pop out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
I remember hearing about
Fine.
that. I don't
Yeah.
remember what it was, though.
Hang on, I'm pretty sure it was a de Havilland. Hang on.
I just remember hearing about it and being like, that's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
I was it was the de Havilland Comet because my dad is a
Ah.
huge airplane nerd.
God.
Fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they had square windows, and basically the reason we have like the curved windows now, yeah, they have skin. The outer surface of an airplane is referred to the skin. Same with the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we now have the curved windows rather than square windows, because they don't have corners and therefore they have less weak points. Hi, PK. Anywho, yeah. Finding a ship and shopping needs to be done because there's multiple people in this group that will not enjoy being cold in Vasselheim, even in the spring.
PK. You got told to shut up. By this
Oh my god. Oh my god. Enter the chill
Hang on, hang
zone.
on. Oh, I'm swapping the camera. I am swapping the camera.
That's so funny.
PK was too spicy.
I'm too spicy.
Way too spicy. Enter the chill zone. Oh my god.
I don't want to enter the chill zone. I'm sad about airplane skin.
Now I want to go to the chill zone with you.
Yes, Ren, join the chill zone. You gotta do it faster than that, buddy.
I'm trying.
You copy paste spam.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. God damn it. I can't fucking...
You're banned from the chill zone.
Let me in! Let me in!
Anyway,
No. That
Hang
lady
on.
wanted this, Jamie.
no, listen. You guys are taking too long to introduce my character.
Too bad. The chill zone.
We have to enter the chill zone.
Yeah, Talia is
I can't get my Chrome my video capture to switch over to the right Chrome window. That's fine. We're going for this one for now.
But I assume Talia can buy some cold weather gear from like while they are going to go pick up their fun plume item, and we do not have to argue that.
Yes, I would say that extra shopping for kind of clothing, winter clothing and whatnot is not something that needs to be.
But let the record show that Susanna did take charge of it and make a lot of decisions about people's clothing for them. All right, I just need that to be understood.
Oh Lord.
And the worst part is Diana wouldn't have been in on the shopping because Diana was dealing with getting a boat.
Diana was busy, so Susanna was in charge. God bless.
And that means Diana is possibly going to get ambushed with, hey, here's what you're...
What color clothes would Diana pick?
I have no idea for cold weather.
Well, let me tell you, that's not the color she ended up with.
Yay.
Anyway.
Okay, so clothes shopping is happening off screen.
Yeah. Diana's probably going to take advantage of the fact that Lena doesn't need cold weather garb and also sort of knows what we're dealing with Vasselheim and is going to drag Lena to go organize a boat.
Fair enough. Lena will be very much to Susanna. You need layers. Wool is good. No cotton. No linen. Really, no cotton or linen. They do nothing and they make it worse. Did I mention layers and fur? If you can find it.
Just to clarify, you're saying no cotton and no linen. Do you want to repeat that another couple times just to make sure I got it?
Lena kind of looks at you for a second. Well, there's no need to be like that.
I'm sorry. I know.
There's always need to be like that. That is Susanna.
I know what Will does. I know. I mean, I don't have that much cold weather experience comparatively, but we do still have winter here.
I mean, we are heading into spring, so we're past the worst of the winter that far north. But layers.
I will get layers and wool.
Waterproof outer layer would be good because it's probably going to rain.
I will get layers and wool and a waterproof outer layer for everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll stop nagging now. Okay, to the docks. Lena is pretty much just kind of shadowing Diana because Diana knows more about what she's doing than Lena does.
But Lena knows more about Vasselheim than Diana does. So, if we get told, hey, we're going by this particular area, we can find out, Diana can kind of get Lena's go-ahead on if that's a good...
Yeah. I mean, Lena will tell you upfront what she knows. Which is pretty much that she's sailed out of
but this also gets you out of shopping with Susanna.
It really does, and Lena is eternally grateful. Okay, head into the docks. You would know that your options are to either start chatting to people on the docks to find out who is going where, or to just head straight to the harbour master, who should have a list of same.
Diana probably has enough money to bribe the harbour master. But I think she's gonna start by sort of chatting and getting vibes and seeing if anyone's leaving for Vasselheim fairly soon.
Okay.
Yes, she can talk to the harbour master, but that... she doesn't know if it's gonna include bribes.
I mean, you can ask about the harbour master as well, whilst you're on the docks, if you wish.
Yeah. I think mostly just to make sure it's still the same fucking... like, it probably wouldn't have changed within the, 6 months she's been with you fuckers? Hasn't been that long.
It might have been, it might not have changed, you don't know without asking.
Yeah.
Okay, as you are making your way along the docks, make me, as you're chatting to these folks, make me a persuasion check with advantage.
Yep. Give me a second.
Since Diona has been here before and knows the lay of the land.
Yep.
Metaphorically speaking.
Do you mind if I do physical dice?
No, go for it.
Dunks then. So persuasion with advantage?
Mm-hmm.
17.
17.
Yes.
Okay. So, chatting to the folks who work on the docks, some of them kind of look a little bit suspicious. But the vast majority of them kind of clock your body language and your kind of manner of speech, and the fact that the questions you're asking are in the language that they understand and the phrasing, and you're using correct terminology. You pick up a few pieces of information. Firstly is that there is a new harbour master within the last kind of 6-8 weeks.
Shit, okay.
Called Quinn Farlight. And with a 17, you recognize that name. Has worked dockside for a while, has a reputation for being scrupulously honest, to the extent that he's alienated a fair few people.
Oh.
Was not who most of them expected to become harbour master, but
Yeah.
have this. He's willing to let a certain amount slide in terms of illicit goods passing through the docks, as long as it's kept quiet and
Okay.
is not kind of substances or items and things that are going to actively harm people. Has a big thing against the drugs trade. Has a big thing against kind of trading in people and animals.
Fair enough.
Would not necessarily be, farm animals. But,
Yeah, no, obviously.
as long as it's not anything that's dangerous or overly dodgy.
And as long as you're not doing human trafficking, he will generally...
I mean... Sorry, I think the ornithology chat, the chat has just broken me. There's certainly words in there. Yeah, it's one of those things
why
where...
are you bullying Amy? It's funny.
They aren't. They're just soup.
Okay. My apologies for the accusation then.
He has a reputation for being scrupulously honest, but as long as you're kind of keeping it as close to board, if not above board, then he's willing to kind of turn a blind eye to minor things.
Okay.
The other thing you get is that there are 2 or 3 ships headed to Shoreham within the next few days.
Okay.
Any of which would be suitable for the group. It's just mostly a case of where they're going from there, and how much the captains are going to be charging the group. The other piece of information you get with the 17 is that most of the trade ships, if you want to buy passage on a ship that's already heading that direction, you're headed to Shoreham. If you want to charter a ship, that's going to cost you something more than a trade ship would.
I mean, Diana's kind of gonna defer to Lena and go, hey, how priority is this?
I mean, I came from Shoreham. It's less than 2 weeks. I'm not particularly. I mean, they didn't say I had to be back there now. So Shoreham is the obvious place. I mean, we could. There's plenty of little ports and things that you can stop off at along the coast, but there's a road that goes from Shoreham through to Vasselheim that's well maintained and easy to follow. Whereas I don't know the route from the other places to Vasselheim, so.
So going via the merchants might take us on a little bit of a detour. It might take a bit longer as they're doing some of their goods and
I mean,
things like that.
It took me, I don't know, a little over a week and a half from Shoreham to Imon. So some of the other little ports and things would be less, but then they're probably going to take longer to get from there to Vasselheim because we're traveling cross country. So
yeah,
it's kind of a bit of one, a bit of the other. Shoreham's probably better if we need supplies and things, and the trade vessels will be headed that way. Unless you get somebody who's trading something that they shouldn't be trading, in which case they'll be stopping at other places first. I would say, Diona, that you will have heard of Shoreham. It is it's a big port town on kind of the west, on the eastern coast of Isilra.
Yeah. She is agreeable enough. It's just kind of confirming things and. Yeah. If Shoreham sounds good to Lena.
I mean, Lena's. The information you're getting from Lena suggests that she really doesn't have that much experience of what is going on. She came from Shoreham to Imon.
Yeah.
She knows Vasselheim pretty well, but that's probably about it.
Yeah.
The 3 ships that you are given the names for, and I'm sticking it in the Roll20 chat because it's not going to get swallowed.
Sorry!
It's okay. It's genuinely okay. It's hilarious to read. It's distracting.
Be quiet now.
So you have 3 ships whose names you are given. You have the Lochinvar, the Cormorant, and the Rockwood. If Diana wishes to do a history check to see if she recognizes any of those names, she can.
There's also another info chat.
She's gonna roll that because she kind of wants to get a vibe for, even if she knows like a little bit about the captains, even by reputation. So you said history?
Yes.
Well, she's better at it than she used to be. 15.
Okay, it wasn't a super high DC. You have heard of 2 of them. You have heard of the Rockwood. It's a big ship. Human captain called Rowan has a reputation for being a bit of an ass. And you've heard of the Lochinvar. Largely because the captain is a tabaxi. And that's pretty unusual.
Yeah. Do I kind of have more vibes on the Lochinvar beyond captains of tabaxi? Like as far as...
What did you say your score was, sorry? 15, wasn't it?
15 on the dice, but 0 plus 1 from the Lockstone.
Thank you. You are on Schrodinger's ship until a ship is picked, yes. Has a reputation for playing fast and loose with the rules in a way that your shipmates liked.
Okay.
So
just not for a right bastard to be worth.
There was a level of respect as well as a level of competition.
Okay.
Also, it's not Catboy.
No cat voice?
I mean, cat they. Cat they.
Cat they?
Cat them.
I don't know, what's the non-binary version of
Cat them.
Catboy?
Cat-
Catboy is non-binary, actually.
Cat
Yes.
baby. No.
Cat baby.
No, no.
Precious cat they.
Cat baby.
God.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have suggested that.
No, it's our little meow meow.
Oh no!
It absolutely is.
No.
No.
I'm putting this on the character sheet.
No, we don't need a little meow meow. I have
We
one
have
of
a
those
little-
already.
Baby.
Also, I have a question. So,
Uh,
in older D&D, Cold Iron exists. Does Cold Iron exist in this game or no?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
you know the title of this episode now, right?
Our
yeah.
little
Yes.
meow meow.
Oh, God.
I mean,
Which
it
is
was going
funny
to
because
be.
it could have been Dylan's birthday, but no.
Oh no! I mean, my title was going to be "The Group Breaks the DM," but you know,
Oh my God.
a little meow meow is better.
Oh, you're recording? I've been recording as well.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it might not go up because there's a whole load where I'm bouncing around with the screen size that's possibly not going to be pleasant to watch.
Okay.
Oh, that's magic.
Afternoon.
Catnian.
Yeah.
So yeah, the cormorant doesn't ring any bells for you, Diana.
Yeah.
It's not a ship that you've come across before.
She's actually she's gonna go see if the Lochinvar if they're back in town quite yet, because if they are, because it's better friendly competition and banter as compared to a captain who is an asshole who she might be at risk of wanting to punch in the face, and someone else might be at risk of wanting to do other forms of harm.
I mean, I would say all three of these ships that you've got the names of, you know that they're all leaving. You're specifically asking for ships that are leaving in the next kind of week or so. All three of them are in port and will be leaving in the next handful of days to a week.
Oh. Yeah, she's gonna head for to check out the Lochinvar. See about having a talk to what is the captain's name for? And would she know possibly the quartermaster?
With that 17 you rolled earlier, I would say that you get the captain's name as Rain.
Okay.
You would not have got the quartermaster's name. You probably wouldn't know them either.
That's fair, but I just wanted to kind of. I'm implying that Susanna's tolerance for assholes is remarkably low. Because she fulfills most of the asshole quota.
I was gonna say it's because she has to tolerate herself every goddamn day.
I mean, I will cheerfully say that there are several characters that I have written in the option for here, all of which I will be thrilled to play because they are all varying levels of bastard.
I will.
Good.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
not afraid to shoot your sailors.
Especially on the open sea.
I would kill a man on the open sea.
Well, I mean, there are no laws on international waters, right?
Yeah, like Susanna can't get in trouble for that shit. She's fine.
Diana is gonna have something, a fun conversation to have with Susanna as well.
God.
Diana doesn't actually think Susanna would just kill someone for fun
No,
on her ship.
it's not that conversation. It's a superstition-related conversation.
Oh, lol. Okay, then never mind.
Particularly considering how guns came about in Tal'dorei.
I would not blow up a ship.
Deliberately.
Actually, I think I did make my explosives.
Oh lord.
You
That's a
did. I remember you
conversation.
working on them.
I finished them. I think I finished them. Great news, everyone.
Oh my god.
Great
So,
news! Susanna has explosives!
I
yay.
am allowed to be on a ship.
Next episode, the gang drowns.
Diana,
Shipwrecked.
are you checking out the Lochinvar or are you checking out one of the others or
I think the Lochinvar is. Well, no, I think Diana will want to get. It will try to get a vibe check on the cormorant, but I think she's currently most inclined to the Lochinvar, considering our general personality.
Okay, getting directions for both of them is reasonably straightforward.
Yep.
The Lochinvar is pointed out to you. It's a decent sized ship. I would say from the look of it, you would know that this is something that is used for carrying goods and also by kind of access points on the side, possibly also livestock. She's a decent sized ship. Has reasonably simple and straightforward sails and kind of has no kind of figurehead at the front. But the
Yeah.
sides of the ship are painted a bright blue with kind of spiraling details and kind of a green that merges into a darker blue that merges into a white that kind of evokes the shape of waves down the side of the ship.
Yeah.
The crew seem, from what you can see, kind of getting an overview of it, the crew seem pretty chipper. There's a lot of laughing going off. Occasionally, at one point, somebody drops something, and it's the full-on everybody stops and applauds the person that dropped it. The vibes are pretty good.
Yeah. Diana's kind of gonna give a bit of a look to Lena, just in, hey, I know what my vibe check is. What's yours?
Lena shrugs.
Fair enough.
Hang on, what's Lena's passive insight? Better than her passive perception. Lena kind of shrugs. I mean, it looks. They look friendly and happy. I wouldn't want to be on a ship where the crew didn't look like they wanted to be here, if that makes sense.
No, it makes for a real, but it makes for an absolute shit show when things go wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense. The Rockwood is a little more fancy in different ways. The sides of the ship are painted black. The sails have what looks to be an emblem of some
Like
sort
the
of
Rockwood
bird.
or the Cormorant?
The Rockwood.
Okay.
They have kind of some sort of bird on the sails. It's faded. Looks like it was maybe. You're not quite sure. Maybe a raven or a crow or some sort of blackbird. It's pretty heavily faded. You get the impression that maybe this is possibly sails from another ship or something. But it does have a figurehead on the front. What looks to be some sort of mermaid with long hair. The crew seem serious.
Yeah.
The ship is bigger than the Lochinvar was. You would say from the access panels, probably doesn't carry livestock or anything, doesn't necessarily have an easy way to get animals on board as well as people. The crew seems serious, but there are kind of occasional jokes flying backwards and forth. You'll see somebody laughing every now and again, and there's a couple of people whistling or humming tunes. They don't seem browbeaten, they just seem focused on their job.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of seeking Lena's vibe check, but Diana's wanting to kind of head on to check out the Cormorant because Captain Rockwood's captain is kind of an asshole.
Yeah,
And
Lena just shrugs and looks a little uncomfortable.
yeah.
The cormorant is a similar size to
I
rock.
also need
Mhm.
I need to make clear that Diana is repeating but like when we're looking at the Lochinvar and the Rockwood, Diana's sort of repeating some of the stories that she's picked up about various about like the captains and
Yep.
some of the crew. Just in kind of a hey, here's what I've heard.
Yep. Cool. The cormorant is a similar size lengthwise as the rockwood, but a bit sleeker. Painted
Yeah.
a dark blue-green color. And there's some kind of effort at kind of stylized feathers down the sides of the ship. The sails are white, bright white, and there's a kind of stylized bird for the figurehead. And
Makes
behind the
sense.
figurehead, there are distinct outlines of wings sweeping back along the front of the ship. The crew, again, look pretty focused. But there's a lot more chatter and joking going off than there was with the
Yeah.
Cormorant. Possibly not as much as there was for the Lochinvar.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think the boys will like the vibes of this one.
I mean, she is pretty.
She is.
I don't know. I mean, the second one, the last one we looked at, the Rockwood. I think either this one or the first one.
Yeah, I asked Joe, remember you gave the captain for the Rockwood's name, but I don't fucking remember it.
The
I
captain
am.
of Rockwood is Rowan.
Rowan's got a bit of a stick up his ass. Always has, as far as I know. And somehow I don't think that'll go well with our bando.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Certainly not for being stuck in a small space for a week and a bit.
Yeah. So I think Diana's gonna Diana would know how to do this. I don't. I wouldn't know how to do like the greeting and sort of negotiations, and right now her plan is sort of get a vibe of sort of price differences.
Yep.
And sort of what we'd be expecting.
Mm-hmm. I'd say since you're at the Cormorant, if you wish to do that one first.
Yeah. One of the other things she is going to make clear is that there are a couple of people who've never sailed before.
Okay.
And she's sort of going to see how that affects opinions and if that brings in any things that need to be considered.
While you're stood there looking at the Cormorant, since that's the ship you're closest to, you see and take kind of track of what you assume to be the quartermaster.
Yeah.
A gnome. Older, graying hair, has several pieces of parchment kind of tucked into his belt. Seems to be issuing orders for various people moving cargo around and things.
She's gonna call out again. She knows how to do this. I just don't.
Yep, no, that's fine.
And because my brain is a sieve, can you write down the name of the place we're planning to head?
Yep.
Sorry, I am a sieve.
No, it's fine.
Sure come.
It's early for you, it's late for me.
Yeah. Just need to track just 2.
Which I'm gonna have to leave in probably 20 minutes or so as well.
7. Yeah.
Alright.
We will get this
sorted out.
Do you kind of want to gloss over the conversation and negotiation and give us like?
Can do, yeah, that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
So you head over to speak to the person you assume the quartermaster, who is the quartermaster, who gives his name as Morris.
Morris, okay.
And the information he gives you, make me a persuasion check, please, straight up.
Okay.
Let's see which price range he's going to give you.
I would ask for help from Lena, but I feel like Lena does not know shit about Jack for this negotiation.
I mean, Lena will stand there trying to look pretty. That's about as much as you can expect from Lena.
Fair enough. 16 on the dice for a 19.
Okie doke. He tells you that
Yes.
they can take crew, they can take passengers, they can take horses. They can only take a maximum of. In fact, I'll type this into chat as I'm going. They can take a maximum of 3 horses.
Okay.
So this is the.
I think we only have the one.
And Vera's,
Yes.
yeah, Vera's
donkey.
Yee.
Oh, I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah, I don't remember what its name was, though. It does carry
It's-
the liquor, though.
Their name is actually Bartholomew.
No, that's up to Sarah to decide, I think. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, Sarah is here. Sarah can.
What are you doing, Nancy? Oh, jeez.
I think Sarah was in and out a moment ago anyway. Okie doke. He says that they have more than enough space for the group. Maximum space for 3 horses. Their costs will be 120 gold per person and 150 gold per horse. And travel time will be about 9 days. Give or take, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
And they will be... Oh, hang on. And they are leaving in 7 days.
Okay. So Vias could possibly make that sewing club.
Buyers could possibly make the sewing club. The other one, the Lochinvar. Oops. You speak to the quartermaster. In fact, hang on, Cormorant. Quartermaster was Morris. I'll spell quarter.
Oh, sorry.
The Lochinvar, the quartermaster, is a goblin called Giselle. They can take the entire group, plus horses. The cost will be 100 gold per person. And the same for horses.
Okay.
Travel time will be slightly longer because it's a smaller ship.
Yeah.
It'll be about 11 days, give or take, to the weather. And they're leaving in 3 days. I've rolled the dice to see who's leaving when.
Yeah. So Diana's kind of vibe check on what Diana knows about the Lochinvar. They fuck around, but they are reliable if shit comes down to the wire.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I would say the vibes we're getting as you're chatting to the quartermaster is that, yeah, it's not so much that they fuck around, it's that they believe in working hard and playing hard.
Yeah. I was kind of going off of like past, sort of the past information as well as talking to the quartermaster.
Mm-hmm.
I think Diana's vote is most likely the Lochinvar, if nothing else, because of just the familiarity aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of I know a bit of what we're in for with these guys. Yeah, they might fuck around. They might screw with me in particular, just out of friendly bullshit. But I'm a big girl. Um, she will. What she's gonna do is she'll say she'll be back in about an hour, hour and a half, going to confer with the group, just get a very quick vote, and then head back and cement the deal.
Okie doke.
And she'll kind of relay this information to the group.
Okie doke. We do have the rings, though.
Yes. But I think we have a range requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the list?
Isn't it like
500
100
feet.
Yeah.
Up to a range of 500 feet. So, basically we can ping the group chat from probably the other side, probably like the other side of the neighborhood, if not a bit further.
Yeah, I would say, God, is there even a scale on this? There isn't.
I mean, at that point, it's just better to go talk to them in person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the group are shopping.
Oh, that's true.
Susanna has been let loose with instructions.
So
I
I think if sort of
along.
the others would have gone with Susanna for cold
think
weather gear,
heading-
Diana might have headed to the market and pinged the group chat for.
Yeah, I would say
Hey, these are our options.
either heading to the market or heading back to the tavern would be close enough to ping everybody.
Yeah.
So all of you kind of get a message from Diona, outlining the options for ships and saying what Diona's vibes currently are for preference.
Yeah.
I would say the option is, does anyone disagree with Diona's opinion?
Don't think so. I mean, Vias assumes that Diona knows ships more than he does, and who would be likely to be a good candidate to bring them where they need to go, so he'll trust her on this.
I mean,
she's also going based off vibes of the party. And she's pretty sure at least some members of the party will quite like having shitheads around.
Lena is also shrugging and going with Diona's opinion on this.
Yep. That she's gonna relay 100 gold each and 100 gold for each of the animals.
Pretty sure we have group funds to cover that.
I think so.
Yeah.
If we don't, Diana can make up the difference for at least the humans. Oh yes, we have the group funds. Diana has the bag of holding. So that means one of the pings will be any objections to me covering it straight up out of the bag of holding.
No. Take what you need.
Yep.
Okey-doke.
I will just make sure to record it. So that is, I need to quickly 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Wait, are there 7? Yeah, there's 7 of us. Of course, there's 7 of us.
There's 7 of us plus Vera's mule and Vias's horse.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, Diana's gonna head back to speak to... Sorry, how did you pronounce the quartermaster's name?
Giselle.
Giselle, and gonna hand over the coin just straight up, just...
Giselle amusingly kind of bounces. She doesn't count it. She bounces the bag on one hand, tosses it into the air, catches it on the other, and bounces it a couple more times, and then nods. Okay.
Coin's all true. I'm not stupid enough to try and rip you guys off.
She tilts her head and gives you this big toothy smile. I like you.
Darren returns it gleefully. She's
You've sailed before, yes?
yeah, the Snapdragon.
I know the name. Has good reputation. Well, has a reputation I like, anyway. You be here, 3 days' time, first thing in morning. We leave with early tide. Bring friends.
I will make sure that all of us are here and ready. How early do you want us to be here to load the horse and the mule?
She holds up a finger as if to say, just wait a second. Reaches behind her and grabs a book off one of the crates that she's been using as kind of an impromptu desk. Opens it up, flicks through it. Seems to check off one number against a couple of other numbers written on a piece of paper. Early tide is 3 hours after dawn. So, early.
Ask crack of dawn so we can make sure to get the mounts loaded. Got you.
Yep. I'm assuming Lena is still with you at this point. And Giselle looks up at Lena, tilts her head and grins. Your friend doesn't seem to like early. And so as you turn to look around, Lena is frowning ever so slightly. Oh, I can do early. I just prefer not to.
I mean, to be fair, only a couple of us need to actually come with the come at ass crack with the mounts. The rest can be an hour or two later.
I'm not telling Susanna how early we need to be here. You can do that, please.
Diana makes a little bit of a rude gesture, but it's slightly resigned. It's like, yeah, no, fair enough.
Giselle through all the way through this is grinning at you. You know, and I do like you too. Yeah, early. We leave 3 hours after dawn on the first tide. Oh, well, that's what the tide tables say. Tide tables can be wrong. Might be a bit early, might be a bit late.
We'll see how it goes.
Don't be late. No refunds.
No refunds, and if you're late, you'll leave us behind.
Yep. Sucks if horses already aboard.
And Diana is content with that.
I mean, it's fairly standard and the sort of things that the sort of deal that you would be used to, whereby if you miss the ship, it's your problem, not theirs.
Yep. And if Diana has to, if Diana absolutely has to, she can put Susanna over her shoulders like a sack of potatoes.
Oh, that's gonna end well. So. Oh my lord.
Hello, PK.
Oh dear. I mean, no is a complete sentence.
It is a complete sentence I am going to use.
Hey!
That last one's pretty cool, though.
But why? But why
Because
not?
I do not want to even vaguely introduce the concept of guns to Injira yet, because I don't want to.
Yeah, that's
That is
the mechanics of guns are so fucked that I don't want them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No guns. It's
What
like,
if it's shot magic?
Nope, too close. Not letting it happen.
What if it looked like a
Spell
gun, but was
focus.
just a magic missile conduit?
Oh my god.
God. Yeah, that's what the wand of magic missiles looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the wand of magic missiles is actually a gun.
Just fucking pulls out a gun. Jesus. I cast spell gun.
I cast gun. That's essentially magic missile.
Yeah.
You're just casting gun.
God.
Except you're significantly
I mean, it is and it isn't, because chances of missing with a gun are higher than missing with magic missile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Heat-seeking gun.
Heat-seeking gun, Jesus.
No,
Jesus
a
Christ.
gun.
Anyway,
And on that note,
Amy nap time.
that is probably a good time to
Yep.
stop. I think we will
Alright.
start next session